As somebody who has spent a lot of time doing the heavy lifting and research of trying to figure out what this AI in education movement is really about, I'm so excited to share with you the resources that I've learned and some of the tips and tricks that I've learned along the way as well. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify what good AI tools look like for educators. You'll also be able to describe different considerations when selecting AI tools, and you'll be able to list a few safe and impactful AI tools for educators. I do want to warn you, full disclosure, this video highlights educator use of AI, not student use. So the resources we're going to be sharing, the tips I'm going to be sharing, really is focused on educator leadership of AI in the classroom, educator use of these tools, because so many of these amazing tools aren't quite ready for our K-12 learners. Let's start by looking at what makes a good AI tool. And the first thing I want you to consider is to think whether or not it's simple for you to use. Because the reality is, if you look for the intuitive and user-friendly interfaces, you're going to be much more likely to hop in and play. And the thing I've learned the most about this AI revolution in education is that the more we play, the more we learn. Second consideration I want you to think about is to ask yourself, is it meant for educators to use it? Now, this is a tricky one because so many of these amazing tools aren't quite ready for educational use. They're getting better. And that's why we're here, to talk about which ones are ready, and also to talk about the ones, even if they're not ready, to talk about how they might be able to assist you in some of your tasks. And I want you to consider, does this tool address specific needs in education? So for example, are there elements to this tool that maybe talk about grading or assessment, personalized learning, classroom management? These are all indicators that this tool is ready for K-12 implementation. Now, if you can't answer that so quickly or easily, don't worry. It might take a little bit more digging, but it's definitely worth it if you feel comfortable in that tool to keep on going. Third, we want to make sure that the tool that you bring into your learning space will work with the systems that you already have in place. So these systems I'm referencing, your learning management system, your student information system, any platforms that you already use within your classroom space, I want you to think, is there going to be some seamless integration here, or is this going to be yet another account that my students are going to have to manage, or that I'm going to have to manage? So indicators of it working with your systems might be, is there single sign-on with Google or Microsoft Office 365? Is there an opportunity for you as the educator to get free access and explore the resource and click and learn and read into some of those possibilities of implementation and integration, to see if you can identify whether or not this is going to work, the sharing, the downloading is going to work with the systems that you already have informally in your classroom. And then finally, you want to ask yourself, is this tool going to meet the needs of all my learners? Because including all of our learners in all ways is what's really at the heart of innovation. And no tool, as flashy or as sassy or as wonderful as it may appear, is worth the risk of leaving students behind. So I mentioned before how important it is to play to learn with AI tools. And even though we're talking about educator use of these tools, it's really important that the deeper you get into that solution, the more you're thinking about what it might look like with your students or your learners. So here are some considerations I want you to think about as you're starting to play and learn and experience these amazing AI resources. First, data privacy and security. I can't say this enough, how important it is for us as leaders to prioritize our student information and data. Parents are looking for us to do that. Caregivers are concerned. Administrators are concerned. Solution providers are concerned, and they should be, because it's up to the entire ecosystem in education to make sure that we're taking the precautions needed to ensure our students' data is safe, especially those students that are under 18. This may even look like getting parental consent, and it will definitely require you to click into terms of services and privacy statements that you can usually find on the footers of most of the solution homepages. Ethics and bias is a big lift because you want to make sure that you are diving into that tool with the eye on the data set that it's using. So you want to make sure, is this tool providing answers to my questions that appear to be biased or that put ethical concerns in your mind? And again, the more you test that tool with some strategic questions, the better you're going to be at knowing whether or not this is in place. Third, cost. Please make sure that you and your leadership team are aware of any costs, formally or informally, associated with some of these tools. At the end of the day, this is big tech and this is business. And there are going to be a lot of ways that we might not be aware of that we could fall in love with a tool or find a tool so impactful and then realize down the line that you're going to lose some of those functionalities because of a paywall. So I encourage you to click around and make sure, even if you're accessing the tool for free, just make sure you know how long will that free access last, and when it goes up and the money is required, just make that decision as to whether or not that's really going to be worth it. The fourth consideration, accessibility. Please make sure that you are considering all the needs of all your learners, especially those students that have special requirements for digital learning, and experience and play with those tools that you know will eventually increase accessibility for your learners. So let's dive into a few of my favorite educational AI tools for teachers. First one I want to talk about is Perplexity AI. And I encourage you, as you start to explore all these different AI tools, to start with your why rather than looking at the tool itself as the what. So for example, if you want to conduct reliable research, Perplexity is an excellent database for you to use. As you can see on the screen, you're going to not only get access to the AI's response, but it's going to take you and point you to different sources that the information was retrieved from. It's also going to point you to some related images, related videos. So it really deepens your research process and allows you to be in charge of the information you're receiving. Human in the loop, making sure you're evaluating all these tools firsthand. Next, I want to introduce you to Adobe Express, which is one of my favorite creative tools that really puts the students and the educators in the driver's seat of the creative process. Some of the really amazing AI-powered opportunities that we have inside of Adobe Express and that are powered by Adobe Firefly include a text-to-image feature, which allows you to just type in what you want to see and let AI do its thing to suggest the image and empower you to customize it more based on adding to the prompts and selecting from their wide array of filters and customizations. I have to tell you how much I love creating Adobe Express designs that just make me as the teacher feel like I'm leveling up my creativity and I'm modeling for my students what industry-ready creative designs can look like in minutes. It's one of my favorite creative tools because I know that I am safe, my data is safe, and my students are safe, all within the ecosystem of Adobe Express. All right, here's what we all have been waiting for. How do we save time, increase our efficiencies, and move through our daily tasks quicker with AI? I have to tell you, there's so many solutions out there, and the one that I keep going back to learn more and more about is School AI. Not only do they have these safe spaces and an opportunity for students to lead their own AI exploration safely and compliantly, but it's also going to allow teachers to save time as they're designing lessons on the fly, or even just needing a little assistance about thinking creatively about a topic or subject that they're teaching. I love that School AI provides resources and recommendations for teachers so that you can enhance your skills and stay updated with educational trends, new technologies, and new features as they come out. Highly recommend School AI. The last tool I want to introduce you to help you access and integrate high quality digital content is Google Arts and Culture. Now, this has been around for some time, so you may already be familiar with it. But do you know that it has embedded AI capabilities right within its platform? And what I love about this is that it aligns all of these AI experiences with the vast global collection of art, culture, and creativity that Google has already curated for you. It allows you as the teacher to model for your students ways that AI can assist in the learning process across all subjects and grade levels. The best part is it's accessible through students' Google accounts if it's turned on by your admin. So make sure to reach out to your tech team and make sure it's turned on. Thank you so much for hanging out and exploring these resources with me, as well as really thinking deeply about ways to ensure safety for your students and yourself. Most importantly, I hope that you've been able to fill your toolbox with a few AI tools that are going to inspire you to continue your learning journey. Please remember to subscribe to Design for Learning on YouTube and also access tips, tricks, more resources, and join our email list at dforlearning.com. Thanks.